Hi guys, I'm back for my Matrix review, so I hope you guys will enjoy this. There's going to be some spoilers, so again, if you don't want to have the movie spoiled for you, switch off now. For the rest of you, enjoy. So, the plot of the Matrix, well, it should be an interesting one to explain. As the trailers quite happily said, and I got to agree with it, you cannot have the Matrix explained to you, instead you have to see it for yourself. Which is incredibly true. The plot is pretty complicated, but I'll try and explain it for you. In the future, there's a war between a machine city called 01, it's explained in the Animatrix, which I'll do later, and the humans. The humans lose, but before they lost, they blotted out the sky. So the machines had no power sources, they ran from solar resources. And the machines realised that they could use the bioenergy found in humans to harvest as a new power source. So they took all the humans, rounded them up, and put them into pods so that they could control them. And they realised that just keeping them in pods wasn't enough, they were dying. So they created an artificial reality known as the Matrix, where they plugged every single human that they'd captured into the Matrix. And it felt to them like they were living out their lives, because it was a completely realistic computer simulation of what their lives have been like, and the humans didn't realise. So everybody's living out their lives in this alternate reality, including this one guy, computer hacker, called Neo, who is contacted by a super hacker called Morpheus, who tells him all about the Matrix and why he needs to get out and help them. And Morpheus believes that Neo is the one, the special person who will free everybody from the Matrix. And they manage to get Neo out, and he goes to the real world, which is where all the pods are and everything. And you find out, you don't see it in this film, but you hear that the humans who have escaped the Matrix are living in a city called Zion, and that they're trying to protect it from the machines. And they travel around the real world using hovercrafts, which are kind of like spaceships but underground. They're really cool, and they've got huge guns. Anyway, Morpheus takes Neo back into the Matrix to speak to the Oracle, who is a machine-built program who can tell anybody who goes to see her what will happen in their future. And she tells Neo that he isn't the one, but he's got some sort of part to play in the Matrix, so he goes out dejected. But while they're trying to escape, agents, who are kind of like, they're constructs of the machine world, sent in to keep control of the Matrix. They're like program keepers, to make sure nothing goes wrong. And when they come back from the Oracle, one of the agents, called Agent Smith, captures Morpheus. The others get out, and they realise that they're going to interrogate Morpheus to find out where Zion is, which isn't great. So Neo and Trinity go back in, have a huge fight in a government lobby where Morpheus is being held. It's spectacular. They hijack a helicopter, rescue Morpheus, they get Morpheus out, and they get Trinity out, but just as good old Neo is escaping, he gets shot by Smith. But Trinity, who's already out, brings him back to life. And obviously this means he's the one. And he finds he can stop bullets. And he kills Agent Smith. And he gets out, and the film ends with him flying away, which is different. So this plot is pretty revolutionary. I mean, nobody really done anything like it before. It's based off of Plato's analogy of the cave, which runs along the lines that all humans... there was a bunch of humans who were chained in a cave, and they couldn't see anything outside. All they knew was the back of the cave, and therefore they didn't know that a life existed outside of the cave. So you see where they're coming from. The humans in the pods don't know that there's actually a real life and it's being faked. So, and I mean, this film is just steeped in philosophical analogies, just like Morpheus's whole talk about whether the real world and the constructed world is just thought-provoking and everything. And as I said, nobody's ever really done anything like it. So it's just got to be 10 out of 10 for that. Special effects. Well, as I've said, there's a bit in the film where Neo can stop bullets, but that's not touching on the major points. This film introduced the concept of bullet time, which video games have loved ever since, like Max Payne and obviously the Matrix games. It basically involves slowing down time so that you can see all the bullets going slow and that you can move them. The agents do this because they're uber human, but Neo can do it as well because he's the one, and therefore he can break the programming and do special things. There's that famous shot where he's on the rooftop when he's just about to steal the helicopter, where he goes into slow motion against the agent and you see the bullets going past him. It's just famous and it's revolutionary. It's really changed the way people film other films. And that's not to say there are other unimpressive scenes. You've got the government lobby shootout, as I mentioned, where it's basically Neo and Trinity running around, taking out tons of guards in slow motion, like running up walls, kicking people in the face. It's just amazing, and all the pillars in the room are destructible, so there's concrete flying everywhere as well. It's really beautifully filmed. Construct Kung Fu, which is Neo versus Morpheus, is technically impressive as well. Really good wire fu, as they call it. And of course it introduces Morpheus's, I think it's the crane move, where he jumps up, goes onto one knee and then goes down, so that's cool. The bit where the helicopter crashes is cool too, a bit bullet time, where the helicopter goes into the glass and it all bends out, is brilliant. I mean, really, the whole film is nothing less than impressive, so again, 10 out of 10 for the special effect. For an action film, the acting in this is actually really, really good. Keanu Reeves was made for this role, as was Lawrence Fishburne for his role. I never really liked Keanu Reeves in Bill and Ted, but he's so good in this film. He acts like he doesn't really know what the hell's going on. Kind of like Bill and Ted. But he does do really, really well. And at the end, when he becomes the one, you realise that he is actually a really badass person. Same with Lawrence Fishburne as Morpheus. He's just cool all the way through. Carrie-Anne Moss is alright. Hugo Weaving gives his best performance as Smith in this film. He's really good in Reloaded as well, but Revolutions maybe not so much, but that's a different subject for another review. My only gripe with the film is that the secondary characters, such as Cypher, who, which I forgot to mention in the plot section, sells out the crew so that he can go back to the real world. That's how Morpheus gets captured, and they eventually kill him. They don't have personalities. I mean, Cypher has one because he's one of the bad guys, but Mouse and... See, I don't even know the other guys' names. They just kind of go into the background and nobody cares about them. So that's the only downside. So I'm going to give it 9 out of 10, but otherwise it's perfect. Music in this film, again, there's a lot of music in this film that you will recognise. The composer, or it might have been the producer, I don't know. They got some Rob Dugan tracks in to the first and second films, which are brilliant. You'll probably know them when you hear them in the films, and you'll have heard them on the radio anyway. For this one, they use Club to Death. They also got a bit of Motorhead for the government lobby scene. Aside from the famous tracks, it's a brilliant fusion of techno and classical music, and it works really, really well. And there's the famous intro with the contrasting trumpets, which are musically probably very hard to do, but I love it. I think it's brilliant, and I love the soundtrack as well. So I give that 10 out of 10, which also links me to my DVD review, which shock horror is actually going to be in a second part. So I'll see you guys there for that.